So I'll take you through with what I've seen here. This looks like maybe red twig dogwood, a wild vine. This here is a non-native that frequently grows along railroad tracks called butter and eggs. Here's what is recommended still by the Highway Patrol, creeping vetch. It's a non-native, but fixed nitrogen as somewhat of a ground cover. This here, there's a cottonwood growing in here, very fast growing. Then along here, excuse me. This here, I think this is a grass leaf goldenrod. This here is one of the aggressive goldenrods. Canadian goldenrod, tall goldenrod, early goldenrod, and late goldenrod. Those four are aggressive, and they look a lot alike with the triangle top. And I'm not sure what this is, but I'm pretty sure it was planted here because I don't see it very common in weedy areas. This, oh, I'm not sure what that is. This here is New England aster. Looks really nice in this setting with the goldenrods. This is probably heath aster. There's a few of the white asters that I'm unfamiliar with what is what. There's a lot more of that mystery plant, and you can see the stalks from last year, which shows that they didn't burn. This is, I believe these are some non-native grasses, but they put an effort to make this a prairie walkway, which is a huge plus. You know, there's that effort that's made, and that effort is the start of convincing others that this can be a beautiful, acceptable, desirable type setting. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm not sure what this is. I should grab my flower book and find out. This is more, I'm pretty sure that's grass leaf goldenrod. There's also Ohio goldenrod that I'm not too familiar with that also has the flat top. Some more New England aster. Now see all the butterflies coming through? Now, there's some milkweed in here. I'm not sure if it's common milkweed or prairie milkweed because I still don't know how to distinguish the two. But at least there's some milkweed. But right now, monarch butterflies, because this is early September, really aren't looking for milkweed for their offspring. They're looking for asters and goldenrods and other such good nectar forbs, which is another name for, was the proper name for flowers, in order to get their full migration, make it through their full migration. And some of these mowed areas, not that one, but there was a couple other, look like they initially didn't mow it when they sowed the seeds, and they later decided to have a mowed path. If I see that walking through here before the battery dies, I'll point that out. But see the nice breeze, you know, there's some trees out back there in here. So this would technically be considered an open savanna, even though there's no oak trees. But you got cottonwood, ash back there. There was a box elder maple. The nice breeze, butterflies, sound of crickets up. I'm not sure what this is, but I'd like to find out. Oh, I'm guessing this is one of the hawthorns, a young hawthorn trying to grow up in here. Now, I thought maybe it was connected to this hotel over here because this corner lot connects the McDonald's and gas station to this hotel. But I just walked into the hotel, the front desk, and asked, and they know nothing about it. Well, at least the lady at the front desk knows nothing about it. Now, this here is called ragweed. You know, green flowers, very weedy. This is the one that actually produces the hay fever that everybody in the fall or late summer fall thinks is goldenrod. So goldenrod gets the blame, and goldenrod is not airborne. Goldenrod pollen is spread by a flock of birds. Goldenrod is specifically pollinated by insects because goldenrod is too heavy. The pollen is too heavy to be spread by air. So goldenrod gets the blame when it's actually ragweed that people have allergies to. Up here's another red twig dogwood. Now, because I'm in Wisconsin, where red twig dogwood is frequent, this could be volunteered by birds. If I were in central Illinois, I would assume it was planted, because red twig dogwood is only native to the northern edge of Illinois. More red twig dogwood. That's quite pretty. Randomly put up. There's a flower. Now, sometimes I've noticed dogwoods, if they get the right condition, will flower again. And that's really neat when they do that. See the monarch there? There's one right here too. There's two on that goldenrod. One right here. So, goldenrod. So, Canadian goldenrod, grassleaf goldenrod, New England aster, heath aster. Those are the main forbs in this prairie planting. And I noticed, this is a non-native crabapple. You could tell because the small berries. You know, the native to crabapples have big berries, and it's not soft enough to be a type of cherry. In fact, the berries would be eaten up right away if it were. This died back here. I'm not sure what that was. A drought, or it could be forsythia wilt or something like that. But you really don't want this in a prairie or meadow planting. See nice pathways they made? And they have intersections. And it's not any boring circle path. There's different options to go around this way, go that way. Kind of like it would be a little bit maze. And whoever decided to put these paths in this way was creative. And that's another thing you want to do, because if people are not entertained by the flowers or the insects, then you at least want to have other features like this interesting pathway for someone in the group to find the group, or by themselves or whatever, to find it interesting. This is sandbar willow. It's a suckering small tree. It's kind of like a thicket. I guess this is an area where probably it was kind of wet during the spring and late fall. Here's a milkweed. Now this one I know is a common milkweed. When they're younger, that's when it's harder for me to tell them apart. That's the hotel that I was asking about. Now, it's not so much native landscaping because that's an Austrian pine. But on the corners, there is Arrowwood viburnum. And along the side, there's potentilla. Those are two natives. This green ash, you see it's kind of thin up there. That means it probably has emerald ash borer. Sure enough, see the D-shaped holes? That's where the adults emerge. The splitting, and when it starts to get more and more attacked by emerald ash borers, the nutrients is cut off from farther up, so it starts to shoot out lower ones because that's where the nutrients can get to. It's harder for the nutrients to get up there because it's cut off, because there's like a big network of all kinds of trails from the larvae of it in here. That's also why this probably shot up. It's probably shot up a shoot right here after, right above it, started to get that D-shaped hole on it. So there's some areas of shade, which is nice, because you really don't want it to have all sun, because it's a hot day like it was earlier today. A little bit of shade, and also you need some type of thicketing, shrubs or trees or taller trees for nesting for birds. Now, a lot of these grasses are non-native, so they probably took an existing field and sowed natives on top of it. This, ooh, I wonder what this is. This could be a native. And it's nice not to have it all flat, because nothing was as flat as our yards these days. Back then, or before we came along. Slope up here. Look at that New England aster. Now, New England aster is not a flower you put in your front walkway. It's a flower you put in the back of a flower bed, or you can put it in the midsection of a flower bed if you treat it like a mum, meaning trim it back or round it out in the early summer. This is some type of non-native. I think it's a type of honeysuckle. Leaves don't see silver, so it's not silver olive. This, once you get the prairie start to be established, you'll have this. Ants. Because ants were really important in making quality topsoil. The warm season grasses go really deep and abandon 1/3 of their roots every year and shoot down more roots. So the warm season grasses add carbon, organic material, down in the soil, and ants bring the mineral material up to the surface. So that transfer is what makes wonderful topsoil. This is a green ash. It won't live long. I don't know if the top part was killed by emerald ash borer, but probably not, because it's a little bit young. Usually they attack the older ones. Now there's not a lot of complexity here, so it's either young or maybe funding was short, Maybe there wasn't a lot of people interested in doing this. You got to have, well, a lot of times it's good to have community support on these type of things. This, it's kind of wavy. This is probably prairie cordgrass. The leaves are kind of short, but have a sharp edge. It's tough, compacted root system, but the seed heads come up. And because it spreads by rhizome so much, a lot of times there's few seed heads, or they're not fertile or invalid, or whatever you want to call it. Nope. This is some type of sedge. Oh, is that path rush? No, be shorter, I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. This is some type of. Now, the saying goes, sedges have edges, rushes are round, and grasses are flat. So this has edges. So this is a type of sedge. Look at all this asters. Now, if you're a hungry bee or butterfly and you see a field of this, you're going to be like, wow. I'm not sure what this is. The leaves look like it could be a type of shrub willow, because farther north and west, I believe, there's a whole bunch more varieties of willow than Illinois has. And of course, I really just know the tree willows. I don't know too much about the shrub willows. So I know sandbar willow, even though of course this looks like a thickening shrub, it can grow in a tree form. And also, if you think about it, what kind of business could you put here? Who wants to be right that close to the exit ramps? And this is obviously a low area, so probably kind of marshy. And apparently there's these laws in Wisconsin that make it hard to get a building permit on wetland property. This here is what I was looking for before. See how it's kind of a tough, well, maybe this one isn't because it doesn't feel as soft as it. But usually there'll be tufts like this with a little bit more softer, graceful grass on it. And that's northern dropseed. Because it makes these big, I don't want to say domes, but taller, tight tufts instead of just touching the ground. It's like a little mound. Quite often you'll find ants making their nests there. So of course the milkweed, common milkweed. Wonder what this is. Oh, nope, this is a non-native, yeah. Huh. Oh, this might be a New England aster, late to the party. And that's actually good. Sometimes in my nursery or in prairie drifts that I've put in, I purposely cut some of them back so there'll be some early and some late.